So what does Thor's hammer do? Thor's hammer possesses several powerful abilities, including controlling lightning and thunder, granting the power of flight, and being nearly indestructible. It also has the enchantment that only those deemed worthy can lift and wield it. Today we're diving into the Neonic Flow, released from Neonic Pickleball. The impressive features of the Neonic Flow 16mm with its spin RPM of 1926, power 52.3 and pop to 32.7. This paddle will put much power and spin on the ball. It's like Thor's hammer. I'm going to see how this paddle power compares to the Gearbox Pro control elongated at $274.99, with this paddle being around 40% of the price. Curious about what real users are saying about this one? Join us as we dive into the verified reviews and uncover how the Neonic Flow paddle stacks up against the premium Selkirk Labs Project 006 Maxima priced at $333. You won't believe the differences we found. The company out of El Cajon, California, east of San Diego, Neonic was founded by Ben and Brandon when they graduated from UCLA. I dove deep into the data dungeon, analyzing every stat on paddles, spin, power, pop, balance, weight, you name it, I compared it, while keeping an eye on the price tags. And voila, the paddle that survived over 20 hours of scrutiny without breaking the bank, the Flow. It usually goes for $129, but guess what? If you found value in this, whip out the code TroyPickleball at checkout and get 10% off, making it yours for just $116. I'll toss the link below so you can grab it with ease. Plus, they'll set you up with a limited supply of paddle covers for free. Oh, and a little heads up. Using that code does toss a few coins my way, but it's peanuts really. Just enough to keep me in the paddle review game. Thanks for the support. The Flow is the Swiss Army knife of pickleball paddles. It's like your trusty sidekick designed to master the art of control while still packing enough power and pop to surprise your opponent. Don't be fooled by its chill vibes. The pop might be dialed down a notch, but that's so you can place your shots like a pro. And let's not underestimate its secret weapon, the serving power. Oh yes, this baby can unleash fury when it's time to smash, hammer, and spin those serves. Here's where the Flow really shakes things up. It's the first hybrid hero on the block sporting an elongated handle. What's the big deal? More leverage, more whip, more whoosh on the ball and your drive, your serves and overheads. And despite stretching things out with the handle, it still flaunts a generous sweet spot thanks to being wider than your typical elongated paddle. It's basically telling those other paddles, look at me balancing reach and sweet spot like a boss. Let's get into just some of the specs. The length, a reach-friendly 16.25 inches. The width starts at 7.4 inches and flares up to 7.62 inches, because why not? The surface, only the best with Toray T700 carbon fiber, fancy right? The grip length, 5.5 inches of pure grip bliss, stretches to 6 inches with an overgrip because sometimes size does matter. The grip circumference, a comfy 4.125 inches, perfect for those who enjoy a solid hand hug. The thickness, a robust 16mm. This paddle doesn't skimp on the carbs. The weight range, packs a punch at 8.2 ounces. And for the tech savvy, the swing weight 115 because this paddle swings hard and means business. The twist weight 6.6 for when you need to twist it back at your opponent. It's thermoformed unibody with foam injected edges for that oh so smooth feel and durability that withstands your temper tantrums on the court. And for the performance metrics, the control is high like a boss. The pop is medium. It's not soda, but it'll fizz up your game. The power is very high because sometimes you just gotta smash it. The spin is off the charts high. Get ready to put your opponents in the spin cycle. So let's do a couple comparisons and see what we have here. So we did a spin comparison, basically just on our rating charts. Weight balance comparisons and some base face, heavy power and spin comparisons. So this paddle tips the scale at 8.2 ounces, planting it firmly in the power paddle category. The spin is off the charts at 1926 RPMs. The paddle that comes closest to these RPMs is the Gearbox Pro Control Elongated at 274.99 and the CRBN-1X Power Series 16mm at 229.99. Giving a comparison to paddles with very similar properties and data results, but with very different price points, to show that you can get a paddle under $120 that gives very similar results without breaking the bank. Let's have a look at some verified purchasers from the company website and kind of get another perspective. Lim T gave a 5-star review. Lim says, "It's been my go-to all-around paddle. Great customer service as always. Thanks, Vin." And Tony R gave a 5-star review. Tony says, "Very good all-around paddle. Nice soft touch and very good control." And Roy P gave it a 5-star review. Roy says, "Great paddle, better control than my last paddle." So it's pretty interesting to note that while most reviewers rave about the paddle control aspect of this paddle, I found myself more vibing with the spin and power capabilities. Considering this, I decided to put it up against a few other control focused paddles for some perspective. The Rhombus R1 Nova at $180 and the Swanky Selkirk Labs Project 006 Maxim at $333. From what I can tell, it doesn't quite match up to the Project 006 in terms of control, but it hangs pretty well with the Rhombus R1 Nova. Honestly, I still believe this paddle is all about the spin and power. A lot of this boils down to personal preference and what you're used to, especially, if this isn't your first rodeo with paddles. Like Tony mentioned in his review, it was a nice soft touch and very good control. I can get behind that. I reckon the real magic of its control lies in how you spin it. With just the right amount of gentle backspin on those drop shots and a crafty curve on your serves, you can really dial in that control. So it's kind of where we are with this paddle. Finally, if you're on the hunt for a paddle that spins like a tornado, packs a punch like a heavyweight, and pops off like fireworks on the 4th of July, then look no further. The Neonic Flow 16mm is your high-flying, power-slinging, spin-mastering hero, ranking in the top tier of all paddles for a slice of the price. Ready to make the crowd go wild? Snag this bad boy for just $116 using the magic code, including a free paddle cover. It's like getting superhero powers on a sidekick budget.